conditions that make your people less than what they should be and less than what they could be. And they make you wealthy beyond your dreams to make you think that wealth means that you're right. So you can drive a big car, live in a big home, have money in the bank, and that makes you think, well, I must be doing something right. Now you got your women messed up. You got your men messed up. We now are thugs. We now love guns. We love to call our women bitches, and we love to call them hoes. We love to call each other nigger, and we tried to make nigger acceptable. How could a nigger be acceptable? Except in your mind. Listen to me good. See, in the 60s, the language changed. And when the language changed, the behavior changed. We didn't call each other nigger. We called each other brother. We didn't call each other bitch. We called each other sister. So when you call your sister, sister, and your brother, brother, then you got to stop thinking, if this is my brother, can I kill my brother? Can I rob my brother? But a bitch I can kill, and a hoe I can sell. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. Don't take it like that, because I'm in love with you. But I love you enough to warn you that there's something better that God is requiring of you for the treasure that he put in you. Now let me close this. The people walked in darkness, gross darkness, the people. Isaiah the prophet. This people that walked in darkness, upon them hath the light shined. Light is that which creates motion, change, revolution. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. So anybody that really knows Jesus is a revolutionary. Those who talk his name but are not a part of a revolution don't know the man at all. And if you know Jesus, there has to be a change in your life. I'm at the end now. Then we'll take a few questions by God's grace. Who are you? You are the bearers of either light or darkness. If you continue to make your people think that the way we act is right, you are an emissary of darkness. You are not a bearer of light. It's one thing to talk about the condition out of which we live and say we're keeping it real. But hell, is that the way you want to continue to live and keep the reality of what the slave master and his children have placed our people in? Is that the reality that you want? Or do you want something better for yourself and better for your people? Well, how will you get something better if you don't raise their consciousness to aspire for something better? That's right. That's our job. The artist is the most important person. You are the teachers. Right. The people listen to you. They don't listen to their preachers. Preacher's day is done. If he's not a part of the revolution, he's finished. Young people in the street not listening to preachers, except preachers are preaching that which is right for the time. That which inspires people to get up from where they are and make a change. My brothers, my sisters, you must be bearers of light. And if you are a bearer of light, you are a creator of change. Nobody can do it better than those of you who are artists in this room. I had a talk with Carmen a few days ago, and as I look at youth all over the world, they're not listening to the leaders. These young white children are not listening to Bush. They don't know Bush. They don't know Cheney. When they were running for president, ABC went into the white community and showed them a picture of Kerry, Senator Kerry. Who is this? Mm-hmm. And who is this? This was the vice president of Dick Cheney. Who is that? Mm-hmm. Then they showed him a picture of Russell Simmons. They said, oh, that's Russell. They know the hip-hop mogul, but they don't know the white folks that lead the nation. So who's leading the nation? It's you. You are not conscious of how powerful God has made you in the wrong direction, but if you turn in the right direction, you will spark revolution all over the world, but it's not a revolution of bloodshed. Watch this. Can I have 5 more minutes to talk? Thank you. Thank you. Watch this. You know, Brother Farrakhan is known in many of these Muslim lands, and they love me because of my strength, which doesn't come from me. It comes from my submission to the will of God. But they admire it. And guess what? In a country like Iran, where they don't like nothing out of the West, these young people steal away. They ain't stealing away to Jesus. They stealing away to Common and Kanye West and Public Enemy, and they grooving in Iran. You are big in Africa. You don't know how much in the little jungle areas they're grooving to you. You put a beat behind your lyric, and even some of the Africans now will say, yo, nigga. They didn't get it right because you didn't have it right. But if you had it right, they'd say, yo, brother, how you doing? So you got to get it right now. And you know what? See, God is producing a revolution against you. As long as you're going to stay in funk and filth, this whole thing is going to turn on you. It is losing its value. And the enemy is getting to the point now where he sees that the moral decline of the nation is not serving him and his children. So watch how they want now to legislate against hip-hop, but not against Hollywood. It's because you have captured the white folks' children. If 60% of hip-hop records are bought by young white people, then who is their leader? 80%, thank you. Well, who's the leader? Well, I didn't want to be no leader. I just wanted to rap, man. Yeah, I know. I didn't want to be none either. You know, it's just a fact. Well, now I either have to accept the role that God has given me. I can't be like Jonah anymore, and neither can you, hiding from your mission, running away from what your real assignment is. So the fish is swallowing you up. But when that boy learned to pray, he was spit up on dry land, and he said, I surrender, God. I've been fighting you, but I know it's time. I hope that you will say, I surrender, God. I know it's time that I can do better than what I'm doing. Money is not more important than the rise of a suffering people into the fulfillment of the promise of God. Nothing is more important than your people becoming truly free. I am an admirer of Russell Simmons and Jay-Z and P. Diddy and Kanye West and all of you that are making hip-hop popular all over the world, and you're rich, some of you. And you're trying to do something to give something back to the community, which is admirable. But if you notice, the more you try to give back, you don't ever change the condition of the masses of our people. All you can do is make yourself feel better. I helped a little community center. I did this. And no. It's really good. It's not bad. You have a right to feel good when you give back. But if you look beyond your giving back to the mass condition, the masses are still suffering. And what the enemy has done is this. He made you a buffer for him. In years gone by, those that managed us, those that were our agents, those that were our accountants, those that were the record executives, those that were the owners of the record label, you never got true accounting for nothing that you did. We did. And every one of our great artists, they died with nothing. And the record company executives were rich, sending their children to college. The brother with the Temptations, David Ruffin, he called me one day and he said, Brother Farrakhan, I'm out here in New Mexico with some Arab Muslims. They not your kind. He said, and sometimes they pay me with money and sometimes they pay me with drugs. And I want to get away from them. I said, David, I'm on my way overseas. I'll be gone for 2 weeks, but when I come back, I'll give you a call and we'll hook up and I'll try to get you free from that. When I got back from overseas and I called, the number had changed. I never got in touch with my brother. David Ruffin went to London, made some money, and came home, they tell me, with $40,000 in a money belt. And he went to a crack house, and they robbed him, and they dumped him in front of Harlem Hospital. The doctors at Harlem Hospital, the people that worked there, didn't know who that man was. And he died in Harlem Hospital, broke. He told his lawyer, if anything happens to me, let Brother Farrakhan say my eulogy. And I went to Detroit to funeralize my brother. And there he was laying in the casket with his glasses on. His children in the front row with no money because he was penniless. I I loved Sammy Davis Jr. He died, and the government came and took everything from him. His wife, Altaviz, had to fight to get back a few little trinkets of value, but he died with nothing, making so many people rich. I looked on television and I saw my sister, who plays in this television series, The Angel, Della Reese, and Della was grieving because she was on the set with Red Fox when Red Fox keeled over and died on the set. And she said the man was on the floor dead. And they were on the phone calling for somebody to replace him on the show. Who do you think you are to them? You're nothing but a piece of meat, and you're only as valuable as your last hit song. And when you make no more hit songs, nobody cares for you no more. Michael Vick. Well-paid piece of meat. He dared to train dogs to kill each other if he did. But he was fooling with man's best friend. They never said what man. But we know who's our best friend. It always has been God. But look at how your language has changed from brother to dog. Yo, dog. You are a God that has been turned upside down. Yo, dog. Ye are all gods, the psalmist says, children of the Most High God. Don't you think it's time that we get up and be what God created us to be? Now, what I was saying, and I'll close this point. Today, the enemy is wiser. Nat King Cole died. He didn't have a lot. All our great ones, Louis Armstrong, all of us, we had fame. But the white man had fortune. And we had fortune, but we squandered it because a fool and his money will soon part. Mike Tyson made over, what, 300 million? And now, nothing. Joe Louis, who made our hearts leap, ended his life as a doorman in Vegas. Sugar Ray Robinson, one of the greatest that ever did it, ended up tap dancing. Where will you end up after you make no more hit songs? What is stored up for you and your children? Nothing. But those who have become multi-millionaires, right behind you is a Caucasian who opened the door for you to become rich. If you look at Oprah, look at all our black, rich people. There's a white man somewhere behind that opened the door, let you make some to make you a buffer, so that you can't speak against this that's behind you that opened the door for you and is killing your people. You can't talk no more because you're afraid you're going to lose the little something that he allowed you to have. So he's crippled us. He's taken the testicles away from men. And now you speak as though you have no strength at all. So the enemy is just crushing us at every turn. He's bought off most of the preachers with faith-based initiatives. Put the money in your hand and then turn you. Then he can kill your people, and you can't say nothing because you don't want nothing to be taken away from you. Now we have a choice to make. I want us to become the children of light. Light is knowledge. Knowledge is here for you. You are not stupid. You are brilliant. But the question is, can you put your brilliance in a song? Can you put the condition of the world in a song and inspire young people all over the world to come away from the elites that are misusing their lives? Bush is misusing young people's lives. They're dying in Afghanistan. They're dying in Iraq for nothing. They have a right to love their country, but Bush does not have a right to misuse that love for oil. Suppose we started rapping to the young. Suppose the young start vibing to a rhythm that makes them peacemakers. Blessed are the peacemakers, they shall be called the children of God. Suppose you took these little white children away from their racist parents and started educating them to follow you in an upward journey, not a downward journey. The whole world will follow you if you will follow God. If you will follow the inspiration of your own soul that punishes you at night. Because no matter what you have, it can't give you happiness. You're rich and empty. You're like what is it, that fine car that, or the Phantom or the Maybach, and you're laid back in your Maybach. But after you lay back in your Maybach, you say, "What's up, Jack?" Say, "Something is happening because I ain't happy with this. I thought when I got that big house on the hill, I would be happy, but I'm in it and I'm empty. I thought when I had all the women that want to give themselves to me and I took as many as I could, but I ain't happy." Because happiness ain't with things. Happiness is when you find your purpose in life and fulfill it. May God bless us to be the leaders of a cultural revolution. May God bless you. Can't you see that this hip-hop thing is changing? And don't let the enemy get in front of it because he's watching the trend. Don't let him be the one to say, "Clean it up," because he can make some money if you clean it up. You clean it up. Whether he's behind it or not, you clean it up because we're going to back you. We'll tear up the office. We can't take this no more. I'm telling you, an army is coming up. And that army will kill you if you don't get out of the way or lead the way. You can't stay like you are. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah. Again.
If you saw the picture, the kingdom, see, they were saying Allahu Akbar and pulling down things and killing people. But when we say it, we mean God is great. God is great in our lives. Whether we are Christians or Muslims or agnostics, God is great in our lives. I'd like to take a few questions.
Yes.
Is it all right?
Would you like to sit down, sir?
No.
We have a comfortable chair.
You know, I just want to say this. You know, when the press talks about Farrakhan, they say the ailing Farrakhan. Well, you better go back and tell them. You was with Farrakhan today, and he was not ailing. No. Farrakhan is back. God has brought me back. I'm working 18 hours a day. So if they don't like Farrakhan, they got 50 more years to deal with me.
That's right.
I hope. So anybody has a question, I'll try to answer.
Greetings, how you feel? Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam, brother.
It's very difficult being the first one to ask the question, but there's something burning in my heart that I have to
Go right ahead, my brother.
How do we, as revolutionaries, approach not only youth groups, but how do we approach the elders in those civil rights organizations to get them to understand, like you just said, that old way is dead. It's a wrap. There's a young spirit that's coming up that needs to be heard, and they're going to be heard regardless.
That's right.
I think the scripture says in the last days, every tongue shall confess and every knee shall bow. You're going to come willingly or unwillingly, but you're going to come. So since we are coming and we're ushering in that new spirit, what is the methodology? How do we get across these things?
Thank you.
Okay, yes, sir.
I got it.
Thank
I
you.
got it.
All right.
All praise is due to Allah. First, let me say, the youth, that's where the enemy's aim is, because this is a generation like we've never had before. Our young people are the strongest, the most fearless, and the best generation that we have ever produced, because they are the agent of change. It's just that they need guidance. If you study the Bible, from the Old Testament to the New, particularly Moses, see, the old folk, they didn't want to fight. They wanted God to do everything for us, for them. I'll get to us in a minute. So when Joshua and them spied out the land and came back, they said, hey, there's some giants in the land. So Moses and Aaron said, well, you know, we should go on in the land. So the old folks said, well, no, them is giants up in there. So tell God and Moses and Aaron, let them go in front and clean the giants out. Then we'll come in. And the God said, let them wander in the wilderness till they die out, and I will take their children, and they will inhabit the promised land. That's our young people. They're warriors, but they're fighting each other. They're warriors, and the enemy is misusing their pain, their anger, their bitterness, and turning it on one another. Now, you got to speak to the youth. And speaking to the youth, you can't use, if you pardon the expression, punctified language. Because you will miss the youth. You know that, Professor Griff, because you've been talking to the youth with a strong language. And if you talk to the youth right, and when I say right, I mean right up to the time, and you're on it with a good beat, the youth are hearing. But you said, how do we get over to the elders? Because the elders can't seem to get it together. Here's the way. You got to look at what has got the elders captured. See, they're captured by religion. They're captured by the Bible. If you don't know the Bible, you can't reach the elders. And if you know the Bible and put the Bible in the language that you capture both the youth and you bring the elder to see what the thing is by the use of Scripture. And I'll tell you this, you just can't talk just to be talking, because you're talking to the people of God. And the people of God